Cold gang. First round draft pick.
Welcome to another episode of Cold Game Live. I'm your host, Isaiah Dotson. Here with my co-host, Malcolm Bennell. Cuz, what it do?
What it do, cuz? How you feeling?
I feel, so much sports action, man. I'm ready to be back. I got a vent about it, man. I'm ready to, you feel me? Ready to go ahead and get right into it. So much happened today. I'm going to start off with this, cuz. Pacers. We got it popping, man. Back-to-back homestand revenge. They wanted it, but we stopped it from happening. How you feel about the Pacers beating Brooklyn tonight in what was a back-to-back 108-103? What's your thoughts about that game, cuz?
Oh man, the Brooklyn wanted some revenge. Specifically, Trendon. He came through. He had 26 points off that bench, but he really wasn't talking about too much. Pacers handled business in considerable fashion how they were supposed to. 108-103. So shout out to them Pacers. Handling business as usual, putting away them Brooklyn Nets.
Absolutely. Put them right away. You know what, man? We've been getting it popping so much out there. You see, Tyrese had to come back out there. Mm-hmm. He couldn't stay out for long. He said everybody out here getting it cracking. He got to get it cracking out there too. So I like seeing Tyrese come back. Tyrese finished with 16, 12, and 8, almost a triple-double his first game back from whatever ailment he was dealing with. I'm just happy he's back out there. We got the whole gang out there. Miles Turner, pre-game, his sister was stretchered off the court. He came back. She's okay. So that's always a good thing. Knowing that she's okay. I mean, he went out there and balled out. 22 points, 8 rebounds. Pascal, 26.6 rebounds. I mean, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. I mean, our big boys are playing like big boys, and that's what I expect from them. I expect no less. So it was just a good thing to see our guys go out there and ball out. And shout out to them Brooklyn Nets too, man. They young, but they was feisty, man. They got dudes out there I ain't never heard of. I look at their roster, they made me feel like a casual. I'm seeing dudes I ain't never heard of. They got the dude Keon Johnson, 17 points, 4 rebounds. Let's see where he come from. Keon Johnson from Shelbyville, Tennessee. He was playing for the Volunteers. So shout out Keon Johnson, man, young boy out there getting a run. What's your final thoughts about that, cuz?
Say this is a young Brooklyn team. They 23 or 48, so they still trying to figure it out there in Brooklyn after busting that squad up. You know, they try to put them something together out there, but you know, this is just the aftermath of what happens when you bust up a championship squad like that. Not to say they wasn't a championship squad, but they had, you know, the pieces: Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Kevin Durant. So they in that rebuild stage. So they got a ways to go. The Pacers, we got championship mindsets, you know. So that's you know, we ain't worried about them Brooklyn Nets. So shout out to them, but good win Pacers. And you know, shout out to our superstars, Siakam, Turner, and Halliburton. They came out and did what they were supposed to do.
For sure. Some quick scores from around the league. Some games are still in progress, but we got the Bucks. They down to the Kings right now in the third, 76-67. We need them to lose that game so we can maintain our stranglehold on that 4th place. Lakers and Bulls. It's a close game. Bulls up by 2, 64-62. Warriors take a L to the Hawks, 124-115 without Curry. The Knicks, they beat the Wizards 122-103. Anything about them games stand out for you, cuz?
You know, I like to see how that, like you said, that Bucks Kings finish out. The Kings are standing on them right now, but Giannis he playing good, 20 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists right now in the third quarter. But I need the Kings to go ahead and close them Bucks out, man. The Pacers is, you know, fighting for that 4th spot. We need that home court advantage. So go ahead and I need us to keep winning. I need them to keep losing.
For sure. All right, we're gonna turn our attention to the big storyline in sports right now. March Madness, first weekend, second round, getting popping off tonight. Man, I heard a lot of complaints about it wasn't a lot of good teams, a lot of good matchups in the first round. Well, the big boys are standing on business.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see some weaklings.
Right.
Be the high major. It just ain't going down. It's too deep at the top right now. You know, especially with this NIL, you're not gonna see a whole bunch of Cinderellas. So get that out your head. It ain't going down like that no more. Feel me? These dudes is paying premium dollar for premium roster, and they get them dubs. So the games, the big games today, you had Auburn beating Creighton 82 to 70. You had Michigan defeat Texas A&M. Michigan had a big second half run. They come back, end up defeating Texas A&M. You also had BYU beat Wisconsin. BYU's looking dangerous. And don't forget, they got the boy AJ Diambasa coming next year. Number 1 recruit in the whole country coming to BYU. And BYU already making noise. They headed to the Sweet 16, awaiting the winner of St. Mary's, Alabama. And then you got Purdue. They stood on business on McNeese State. See, we talked about this earlier. We said that if you think Purdue's sweet, they not. But Sweet 16 coming, they got to face that number 1 Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that game turns out. And then also you had Arkansas beating St. John 75 to 66. Battle between John Calipari and Rick Pitino. They both came out and said they wasn't that close, but they have a lot of respect for each other. And their teams fought extremely hard. Arkansas ends up getting a dub. Texas Tech beats Drake 77 to 64, putting an end to Ben McCollum's magical season. Them boys at Drake had a good run. We got one more game in progress. Tennessee is beating UCLA. Looks like they're going to advance, and they'll take on the winner of Kentucky, Illinois. Any one of them games stand out to you, cuz? What was your takeaway from this Saturday of round of 32?
It was some good basketball to be played. Definitely some good basketball. I think with that Auburn Creighton game, that was a good game. You got what you expected though out of Auburn. Michigan just chugging along, good win over Texas Tech. The game I was just kind of checking out here right before we got on the air was that Houston game, and they got him a good one in that kid Cryer. Cryer went out for 30 points. I think he kind of had an out of body. But I ain't been really tapped in with Houston like that this year. But I'm tapped in now because I see what Brandon got ahead of him. Brandon Smith got his hands full, with that kid. So we'll see how that shakes out. And I also probably check out that Duke Baylor game. This is always good to see as much Cooper Flag as you can before he makes that jump. But also that Arkansas St. John's game, that was so hard to find. They said it was on a few apps, but I couldn't really find that game. But I was kind of checking the box score out. That was a good game from Arkansas. They might be a sleeper because it's hard to say they're a sleeper with Calipari over there coaching them. But I would like to see their game against Texas Tech, see how that goes.
Absolutely. So we got more big games, like Cuz said, tomorrow. Duke versus Baylor. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one too. I'm going to see what Cooper Flag does. I mean, he balled out first game, but he balled out on Mount St. Mary. Now the competition is a little higher. The athletes are a little better. Baylor, they've kind of been struggling this season, but they're in that tournament. Anything can happen in that tournament, as most of these teams are showing you. But it's no gimme games. It's no gimme games. The games I'm looking forward to, that Florida UConn.
Florida UConn.
I want to see Hurley put his money where his mouth is. Florida, the NCAA they work in mysterious ways. I think they kind of think of the best storylines to put. And of course, they got UConn going against the last team to repeat as national championship, which is Florida. Right. So they got UConn going against Florida, and it'd be a major test or it'd be a major movement if UConn can get past Florida. But I just don't see that happening. I think that run stops right there. I think they've had a hell of a past 2 years, but I think they're gonna see a different animal when they run into Florida. That's my national championship pick.
Yeah.
I don't see them going down right there. So I think that's the game I'm looking forward to the most. What time does that come on? 12?
12, yep. No.
Nice and early. Early. That'd be breakfast, man. They cook them right in the pan.
Brunch.
Fried husky.
Fried husky.
It's winter coming up, man. Hey, the winter's ending. The winter's ending. So the North. Kind of go back to the North. So we're gonna see. That should be a good game. But any final thoughts about this tournament, cuz? Anything else stand out to you?
Excuse me. Yeah, a lot stands out. I mean, like you said, that Florida UConn game is going to be a good game tomorrow. I really got my eye on this Michigan Auburn. That's what I might have to check out. Michigan Auburn tomorrow at do they got I don't know if they play tomorrow. Whenever they play, they may play Monday, but that Michigan Auburn game will be a good game. I got Michigan coming out of there for the Final Four. So I'm trying to see a Michigan Florida matchup. But yeah, Purdue Houston, that'll be a good one. I think that's going to be in Indianapolis. So that's a home game for Purdue. What was that game on Monday?
Oh yeah, the game is on. No, that'll be next week. So that'll be. I think that game will be. Let's see.
Here we go. It'll be. Those games start.
2BDT.
Yeah, 2BDT. It'll be.
That'll probably end up being like on because they go Sweet 16 and Elite 8, so I can see that game being Friday, Sunday.
Yeah, it says it'll either be Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, yep. Some games, so they have half of them play probably Thursday, Saturday, Friday, Sunday.
Okay. They're gonna give us a little break.
Each team get a day rest before they see who heads to that Final Four. Because if you win 2 more games, man, hey, all it takes is 6 to win that national championship. First team to 6.
Mm-hmm.
First team to 6.
You got to go 6-0 though. Yeah, ain't no losing. That's hard to win 6 straight. I mean, you might think that might be a little easier than like to go like they say how the NBA does it. You can't even really compare it to the college football playoffs because that's so new and it's so fresh. I know that's going to continue to expand, but men's college basketball players has that right set up. You got to win 6. It ain't no way around it. So.
And then, so speaking of how many games you got to win, I think let's go to a team that won. I want to make sure I get this right because they are on a roll.
Mm-hmm. I already know who you're talking about.
Before I speak on them, I want to make sure I get it right.
Yeah. You got to do them their justice, man. They deserved it.
They deserved it. They earned it. Let's see. We're gonna do it like this, man. We can calculate the numbers in our head.
Mm-hmm.
When we interviewed a player by the name of Cooper Zachary, starting point guard for Fishers High School. When we interviewed him, he was on a 40-game win streak. After the interview, he went ahead and won regional. Him and his team, that's 41. And then they just won 2 semi-state games, 42 and 43.
They just played one.
No, it's 2 semi-state games. They had one at
okay. Yes, you're right. Yes, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yes.
And then so they on those 2 games, they end up beating the first game. They beat South Bend Riley 82 to 46. And then in the championship game for semi-state, they beat Crown Point 73 to 48. So the scores haven't even been close. They're a runaway freight train. So they go to the championship game this week or next week. They play in the state finals against Jeffersonville. Jeffersonville, they won 2 games today. In the final game, they beat Lawrence North. And before we move on, I just want to congratulate Lawrence North on a great season. Congratulate Xavier Robinson on his tremendous career, legendary career at Lawrence North. Nothing to hang your head out at there, So I just want to give them their credit, but Jeffersonville ends up getting the victory, and they're led by Trey Singleton, a 6'8" recruit headed to Northwestern, and they're gonna clash with Fishers High School in the state championship. Who do you got winning that game? And what's your thoughts about today's results?
Oh man. Congratulations to all them boys who competed in that 4A semi-state: South Bend, Riley, Fishers, Homestead, Crown Point, Terre Haute North, Lawrence North, Jeffersonville, and Mount Vernon. This is what I'll say. Man, it's hard to not say Fishers isn't the favorite, just for them being the defending state champs, and them having lost the game, even before winning that state championship. So it's hard to say that Fishers isn't my favorite, but I will say this: I don't know much about Jeffersonville. They knocked off a very good Mount Vernon team with Luke Ertl, and then they came back and beat an extremely good Lawrence North team with Stink Robinson. So, and I will say this: looking at these box scores, Lawrence North has 75 against Terre Haute North. Jeffersonville held them to 49. And I know that Mount Vernon is a team that can put up some points on offense, and they held them to 59. So it looks like Jeffersonville is a hard-nosed defensive team, is what it sounds like. But I know Fishers has that high-powered offense, and they got a lot of kids on that roster that is going to be tough to start. I mean, it will be tough to stop. Cooper Zachary, Jason Gardner, Justin Kirby, John Anthony Hall, Nathan Baker. I mean, they loaded with talent on that Fishers team. So it's gonna be a good game. Get your tickets. What is the tickets? Where's the tickets? So somebody let me know so I can buy me some tickets, man. I gotta be in the building.
Absolutely. And I don't think we giving Jason Gardner Jr. I don't think we giving him enough attention on this show because he is an absolute animal, a solid, compact build guard, very strong for his age. He's getting to the cup at will. Not only are they on a win streak right now, 43 straight wins, I don't know when the next time they're going to lose, especially with him and Coop in that backcourt.
They only sophomores?
They are only sophomores.
So
we're definitely witnessing something special. We're looking forward to the state finals next week for that class. And then also we got to turn our attention to that 3A. See, 3A, it doesn't get a lot of attention, but it's a classic, historic, legendary program that's making a lot of noise, and they shine. Crispus Attucks, they'll be playing for the state championship next week. They defeated Princeton in the first game, 55-61, and they defeated New Pal in the championship, 67-49. They'll be taking on South Bend St. Joe's after they defeated East Chicago Central 84-72, and they defeated Delta 62-46. Man. So the news is that Desmond Briscoe, he's going to decommit as soon as tomorrow. He'll be decommitting from Iowa. So he's going to open back up his recruitment after Fred McCaffrey was let go. And boy, was he putting on the show like, hey, I'm a free agent now. Any college that want me, come and get me because I'm playing for a state championship, and he is cold-blooded. I'm happy to see him finally taking his team to the state finals. because that's what great players do. Great players win. Great players win championships. So we'll see how he completes this journey. What's your thoughts on that, cuz?
Shout out to Christmas Addicts. They are a force to be reckoned with every year on that basketball court. And shout out to Desmond Briscoe. I would love to see where he's going to land with his college choice. I know he said he's at Iowa now, but he should. Word is he will be decommitting. But I will say, Addicts do have their hands full with that state championship game. It's not going to be an easy go because just as Addicts has Desmond Briscoe, South Bend St. Joe has Chase Coinsley. I haven't heard his last name be pronounced, but I did a little research on him earlier. Coinsley, somebody please, if you can correct me on that, please. But Chase Coinsley, he averages 23 points and 9 rebounds a game. So to Desmond Briscoe's 15 and 8. So it's gonna be a battle. He is one of the top 10 players in the state of Indiana too. So we'll see how that goes. That'll be a great, 4A and 3A game for that state championship boys basketball in Indiana.
Absolutely. Now, I want to turn our attention to on this day in sports history. Here's a fact for March 22nd. You can take this to the bank. UCLA, they win a 3rd straight NCAA title. The Bruins was led by legendary coach John Wooden. He won his 3rd consecutive NCAA basketball championship, defeating Purdue 92-72 in the title game. This was part of UCLA's dominant run, where they won 10 championships in 12 seasons, cementing their place as one of the greatest dynasties in college basketball history. All these championships, that's why. And that leads me to this, cuz everybody want to have this blue blood talk. Who's a blue blood? Listen, here's my definition of blue blood in my opinion, cuz. Did you dominate an era? Clearly, they dominated an era. The 60s and the 70s, UCLA exerted their dominance. The 70s and the 80s, we had Bob Knight. Bob Knight won 3 in the 70s and 80s. We established ourselves as a blue blood. Everybody knew when you played Indiana, you got to come ready.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all can look up the rest of the blue blood history. I'm just talking about Indiana's mark on blue blood. Yes, we dominated an era. Yes, was it a while ago? Hell yeah, it was a while ago. But it's only been so many decades. You got the 2010s, the 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, and the 70s. I mean, that's 5 decades. We just hit it in the mid 2020s.
Mm-hmm.
So it can only be so many teams dominating in that time. Mind you, we already had 2 championships before them, but we're not going to talk about the 40s and the 50s and the 60s. We're going to talk about the 80s. when we was dominating stuff. If for your knowledge, for those of you who don't know, Indiana was the last undefeated team in college basketball. Ran the table. From start to finish, from preseason to the title game, Indiana is the last true unbeaten team in college basketball history. Now take that and run back and tell your mammy. And if your granddaddy's still around, your granddaddy know. Let the history book show Indiana blue blood. And with that being said, cold game.
Cold game.
Four, cold game. First round draft pick.